All right, it is 7:24 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the East Coast. I'm your host for the Get It Back in Blood podcast, Miss Kaj Taylor, a.k.a. Miss Go. All right, we were talking about the indentured servitude. I want to bring you some more information on indentured servitudes. I want to explain to you the conditions of the indentured servants. This is specifically for the U.S. And any surrounding countries that may have practiced indentured servitude. This is 1800s we're talking. All right. So indentured servitude was a difficult and harsh system of labor in the early colonies with conditions that included forced labor. Indentured servants were required to work under contract for a set period of time. We say that's between 3 to 7 years. They had poor working conditions. Indentured servants were often given inadequate food and clothing or were subject to heavy physical labor. There was violence against them as well. Indentured servants were often physically abused by their masters and sometimes even killed. There was lack of legal protection for indentured servants as well. Indentured servants were unlikely to have access to a magistrate, or prosecution of masters was uncommon, just like with any other slave. There was sexual abuse. Female indentured servants were often raped or sexually abused by their masters, just like the African slaves. There was no marriage without permission. Indentured servants could not marry without their master's permission, just like there are some slaves that were able to get permission, get married, and jump the broom. That is what what's his name? Not Tyler Perry, the other one. T.D. Jakes, movie Jumping the Broom. You all went to go see. I went to go see it too. I had never heard of Jumping the Broom. Is it because we were not allowed to marry in my family situation? That's why we didn't hear about your so-called ugly ass jump the motherfucking broom and shit. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. So, because we know this, and I told these motherfuckers this, I'm never getting motherfucking married, bitch. I'm gonna die just like real motherfucking women died out this motherfucker, bitch. Not up no motherfucker's ass, I tell you that shit. There were women back in those times, period, that could not get married, but they were subject to sexual abuse, forced to have children for more human labor. Disrespected on a daily basis. But that happened also with indentured servants as well. So it's not what you would think, that the men just came here and worked and then their families came over. That's not how that was. All right. So no marriage without permission. Extension of labor. If an indentured woman became pregnant, her labor would be extended by 2 fucking years. Let me read this again to you. If an indentured woman became pregnant, her labor would be extended by 2 motherfucking years. Get Kamala out my motherfucking White House, bitch. Get Kamala out my motherfucking vice president seat, bitch. Get her ass the fuck out of here, bitch. Sorry. The sale of labor rights. The rights to be indentured servants labor could be bought and sold. So even just like I'm telling you about human trafficking and human traffickers, they say, you have to be here until you sleep with 500 men. Then you get to your 500th man and they can still sell your contract and get you more men to be fucking on or raped by. That's sale of labor rights. Okay. Contract length. Indentured servants typically served terms of 4 to 6 years if they were not convicts, and at least 7 years if they were. Understand what people be trying to tell you sometimes. Non-convict, because England, which people could bargain with England to come over to the New World or come over to the U.S. or the 13 colonies to work as indentured slaves or servitude, instead of serving their jail sentences in England. So they could bargain with that. Okay, 3 years, you get your ass over there to the United States and give them some free labor. Right? These were some of the conditions of indentured servitude. While convicts had to serve at least 7 years, those working within their contract found living conditions very similar to their enslaved counterparts, such as their less than substantial food and clothing provisions. All right. So, Jesus. So those are certain things that we I'm trying to tell you. Now let's go back for you white people that don't know this Willie Lynch character that we are all been talking about in the African American community for about a decade or so now. Let's talk about Willie Lynch. Sorry, I had to get me a drink. It's early in the morning. It's time to do business. It's time to do war. Told you a while ago, welcome to World War III, bitch. From the other Washington, D.C. All right, let me get you some information on this Willie Lynch guy. Willie Lynch. It is said that no one knows the true identity of Willie Lynch. Well, there's an American military officer named William Lynch. We do see that. Willie Lynch came up with a theory for slave and plantation owners. All right, here is some new information. Let's start with William Lynch from the Jefferson Plantation here in Lexington County, South Carolina. What's up, America? So, William Lynch, born 1742, Pennsylvania County, Virginia, died 1820 in Pickens County, South Carolina. He's in Wikipedia. You can look at Wikipedia. They told us to stop trusting Wikipedia a long time ago. But let's see what Wikipedia says about Mr. William Lynch, who claims to be the person that passed the Lynch Law. The term Lynch's Law was used as early as 1782 by a prominent Virginian named Charles Lynch to describe his actions in suppressing a suspected Loyalist uprising in 1780 during the American Revolutionary War. The suspects were given a summary trial at an informal court. Sentences handed down, including whipping, property seizure, coerced pledges of allegiance, and conscription into military. Charles Lynch's extra-legal actions were legitimized by the Virginia General Assembly in 1782. In 1811, Captain William Lynch claimed that the phrase Lynch's Law, already famous, actually came from a 1780 compact signed by him and his neighbors in Pittsylvania County, Virginia. Not Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a state. Pittsylvania is in Virginia, county in Virginia. That is to uphold their own brand of law independent of legal authority. The obscurity of the Pittsylvania County Compact compared to the well-known actions of Charles Lynch cast doubt on it being the source for the phrase Lynch's Law. Okay. So, he claimed to put the law into effect. Was he a fan of Willie Lynch? Did he change his name? Any of that? That's going to take some further research. But that is William Lynch died here in South Carolina. All right. Now let's go find the William Lynch letter in theory. The making of a slave. I want to find a source that I feel like I can trust. Because you Negroes have really indoctrinated that into your whole motherfucking schemes around here. Give me a moment here. Let's do this shit together. Now, what is the Willie Lynch theory? It is a mental slavery. It's supposed to be a subliminal tactic used to keep Africans in America in psychological chains for generations. I agree. In 1712, Willie Lynch prophesied this method of control that would push an inferior mentality on the enslaved and eliminate the strength in numbers that unity provided Africans in America. Well, we know Africans weren't the only ones, so I am looking for let me see. Yes, the popular source for that is Making of a Slave. I did hear of that when I first did my research. Yes, Making of a Slave. As we know, they had those people coming over for indentured servitude. They treated them no better than they treated the African slaves. Some people think it's a hoax. Some people want to act like it never existed. See, you know. I had my ups and downs. I had my good days. I had my sideways days. I had my days, and I'm very, very angry. Oh, they have it in Spanish. Oh, they send it to the Spanish people too, Hispanics. Let's see if I can get a summary of it real quick. I want you to hear the potent words that's used. Here's a couple excerpts from Making of a Slave. And I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves. And I take these differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and it will work throughout the South. So, yeah, that's what I was saying. Like William Lynch, the American soldier. He claims to made it law for lynching to occur, but it didn't say anything about hangings, though. Did you notice that? Okay. A couple more excerpts. You should get your mind flowing and understanding what that is about, because a lot of you refuse to read it. I'll be back in the second podcast with the rest of it.